And not to mention that the cost is so prohibitive and it's almost a scam.
Yeah, bro.
The way they like $500,000 for
Actually, thanks for bringing that up. That is one thing that I wanted to talk to you. Actually, is this whole idea of education, right? Okay, so you're Chinese dude.
Yep.
Became a doctor.
Yep.
Ultimate success story for any family, right?
Not really lah.
And then now that you have discovered now that you've maximized your talent, right? And I'm assuming you're not a practicing doctor anymore.
No, I stopped in 2013. So like 6-7 years, 14, 15, 16, 17, 20, 7 years lah.
Okay,
full time.
So now that you have kind of seen the side of being a doctor, living as a doctor, and now being an entertainer, right, and making a living not being a doctor, right? What is your view on the whole idea of education, and should every kid be studying to be doctor, engineer, lawyer, or because that seems to be the default programming for most parents, right?
Yep. I think it's for our previous generation, and the one thing that I'm very passionate about and I'm very sure about is that the biggest mistake anyone can do in his or her life, especially when they finish their secondary school or whatever, the biggest mistake they can make is to ask or accept career advice from their parents. Because parents are not experts in careers. No one can be. For example, a parent is only at best an expert in his or her own profession. A doctor knows all about the medical industry. That's fine. But when a child is asking what career path I should follow, the doctor parent has no business talking about whether the guy should go into finance or economics or even other stuff, because the doctor doesn't know. He is ignorant of all other professions other than his own.
Right.
So parents are not experts in careers. So don't give advice or burden your child with your own, ideals and hopes and dreams. It's up to the individual to search and find what is suitable for him or her. So, and like I give a simple example. Let's say we roll back 10 years ago.
Okay.
10 years ago, if a young kid were to ask you, hey, what career I should go for? I am interested in oil and gas or being a YouTuber. All of us would have said, even me would have said, yeah, do oil and gas. They make them a lot of money. But look at oil and gas now. All time low. They are retrenching. People are losing jobs. And YouTubers are making them a lot of money.
It's ridiculous. Yeah. Gamers, right?
Gamers.
Is a legit way
to make a lot of money.
Serious money, bro.
Yeah. So how could we know? We can't even predict 10 years from now. So when someone says, hey, when a parent says, hey, you should be a doctor, engineer, lawyer, because you no freaking idea what you're talking about. The world is changing too fast for you to predict relatively well what's going to happen 10 to 20 years from now. And you're deciding on your child's life choice. Because once you're set into a career path, it's actually pretty hard to get out of it.
Yeah. And also, I think, Asian parenting also comes to the whole, I didn't pay 3 years of university for you to drop out of college. And, maybe in the Western system, you're, with debt, okay, we also have our PTPTN here and all that.
Yeah.
But then, it's your problem. You screw up, you pay the debt, right? But here, more often than not, parents pay for college and university. And in that sense, they feel they have the right to dictate, because it's my money.
For the ROI. Right?
But having said that, right, the thing that I find very odd, very odd is when you sit down and think about it, right? Anybody, whether it's a politician or engineer or doctor. I say politician because we can make the most money there, right? In terms of success, right?
Okay.
But whatever your career is, right? Once you have kind of made it, right? With all that success, what do? You start enjoying life, right?
Yes.
But what do you enjoy? You listen to music.
Yes.
You collect art. You watch art. You watch movies.
Yes.
Suddenly you realize the thing that you love most in life is the arts. So to speak, the non-traditional stuff, right? But if your kid came up and said, I want to be a musician or I want to be an actor, you shut them down, right?
Yes.
But the same person who shuts them down will be like, oh, I want to listen to this artist. This is my favorite artist. I need to go pay $300 to listen to the concert or watch the movie, right? So suddenly it's such a weird disconnect, right?
Yep.
Because it's sort of the thing that we value the most. At the same time, we think that, oh, no, you cannot do that.
Yeah.
It's
the same during MCO where people were like, not interested in funding arts. And then but during the MCO, during the lockdown, they are all watching Netflix.
Yeah.
Where do these Netflix things come from? From art, from the arts. So the problem that you bring up with this is that I think parents inherently don't want their children to pursue the arts because they know that, rightfully so, that most people in arts can't make money, and that's the sad ecosystem that we have created for ourselves in Malaysia, where it's hard for an artist to make reasonably good money. And if you look at, say in other markets in like Australia, America, or UK, you can being in arts can be quite a stable profession.
Okay.
Here it's very tough. It's very tough to make money.
For yourself, right? Where I see you do a lot of like stand-up shows, and again, my assumption is entertainers here have to do a lot of corporate gigs to kind of pay the bills, right?
Yeah, right. Correct. Yes.
And in that sense, knowing what you know now, do you feel, provided you're good and you're talented, not for everybody, right? But provided you're good and talented, do you feel, being a stand-up comedian is a viable ambition for a Malaysian kid?
Yeah. Financially, yes, it can be. But with the caveat that, not really caveat, but if you look at all other types of artistic endeavors, like for example, say a singer, I would say being a singer is quite hard to make decent money in Malaysia, particularly if you're singing in the English medium.
Okay.
Or say if you're an actor in the English scene, it's going to be very hard. Fortunately for us stand-up comedians, the handful of us who can do corporate gigs and such, we're able to command a fee where we can comfortably sustain our lifestyle. And the good thing about this is stand-up comedy is so new now. It's still in vogue. People want to hire stand-up comedians for their events. And the good thing is, if you're good enough, when you perform at a corporate gig, you will define the corporate gig. For example, like I'm pretty sure when I perform for some events, and I go up maybe before a big name or a singer big name singer. If I do well, most people will remember that event is that we had the annual dinner where Jason performed, because they'll remember my jokes.
Yeah.
Making people laugh is a good way to cement the memory of the night. Yeah. So there is that.
Okay.
So I am lucky that there are enough companies to go around, and also people still want stand-up comedy. But it's also not just corporate gigs. I also make a concerted effort to make my live shows and live tours financially profitable. Because there's no point for me to burn a hole and then be all depressed. You have to make sure that tickets sell and you make back your money and make a profit.